Today, I want to talk about a very important topic as it relates to business development. And the topic that I want us to talk about today is the value proposition and the high performers. I do believe that it is a fact that having a high performer is not automatic. And as we go into today's program, I will examine those justifications why I'm saying this. However, I just also want to say that today's program comes to you with the compliments of 10X Blueprint Academy, 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, and Global Capital Inc. I begin today's discussion by identifying that we continue to study the top 100 companies in the developed world. And our mission is to bring you those information to allow you to deduct from those data some of the best practices that these top corporate leaders are using to integrate their business and brand across the world. We're quite certain with this kind of information, it would certainly help you to nurture a new way of thinking, perhaps adopt it and apply it, and you may be able to see significant change in the growth of your business. Of course, we are also here to work with you, provide you with the mentor, the coaching, the support to implement these systems in an effort to take your business, your ideas to a whole nother level. And of course, we have a team of subject matter experts. We are working with venture capitalists, private equity investors. We are working with certified public accountants, economists. We are working with a legal team and so much more to ensure that you're getting the best support to optimize your business success. I begin by saying that the world's top 100 company brand leaders have an exceptional approach to foster human development, corporate compliance, and global expansion of their brands. That exceptional approach is built into the DNA of their corporate culture, into the DNA of the value proposition. And of course, we will look at all of these things today. Most of the top 100 companies, brand leaders, build out systems to impact every area of their business. It's not by accident. They deliberately build out systems to impact every area of the business. And that relates to things like healthcare, daycare, recreation and personal wellness, cutting edge education, guarantee income. Today, I will examine each of these so as to really help you to get a deeper understanding as to how the top 100 companies in the world operate. And I refer to companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and so much more. Now, what does your value proposition say about these things? Because we're talking about your value proposition and we're talking about the high performers. Are these things in the DNA of your corporate culture? These are questions that I want you to ask yourself and ensure that we can be honest, because our mission is just to identify what some of the top players are doing and to present you with those information. Of course, we are fully aware that this content and this message is not for every entrepreneur, because there are some entrepreneurs who are quite comfortable with where they're at. But we're speaking to those who are not comfortable and they want to achieve more. They are positioning themselves day in and day out to become the global thinkers, the social actors, and the transformational leaders. We're speaking to you. We're speaking to those individuals who wants to be the dream makers, the trendsetters and the game changers in doing business. So the content here is speaking to those individuals. Any effort to nurture the high performers must take all of the above into consideration. The high performance, or having a high performance workforce, this is not automatic. It is social orientation or social conditioning. It is cultural. It can become a way of life. And those are some of the things that I want us to dig in deep to today. But before digging in deeper into those concepts today, what I want to do is to carry you to the new book that we have written at the 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. We have written a very unique book titled 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint. And this book examines all of this. We studied the top companies across the world, and we are documenting those best practices. We are introducing new innovative approaches that can really help the entrepreneur to 10X their business, to leapfrog their business and achieve more. So today, again, I will be reading from that book titled 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, The Psychology of Business. And I trust that you find it interesting. And I begin. Corporate leaders behind the world top 100 companies are the real proactive leaders. They are the real proactive leaders. They think ahead, they see beyond problems, and they take informed action to achieve desired results. How many of you are doing this to 10X your business and to 10X your brand? In one of my books, I did talk about the proactive leadership. And as you study the world, you can literally see those who are truly proactive. You don't wait for something to happen and then you react to it. You think ahead because you are the dream makers, the game changers, and the trendsetters. And what this is saying is that those corporate leaders that are behind the top 100 companies, the facts are showing that they are the one that think ahead. They are the one that see beyond problems, and they are the one that take informed action to achieve desired results. I continue reading. This leadership approach enables them to drive their brands to generate billions of dollars in annual revenue. There is a global need for more of these managers. The type of managers who can manage with compassion and the will to position every member of staff to self-actualize in key areas of their life, and become sustained high performers. Now, the point is introduced here where these leaders, although they are they're trained to become the proactive leaders who think ahead, see beyond problems, and take informed action to achieve desired results, so as to drive the companies to generate billions of US dollars annually. They're also compassionate. They're also the compassionate leader. And they have allowed this compassion to become the DNA of the organization and part of the driving force that helps the organization to achieve the objective. And of course, as compassion comes into play, the focus is to ensure that every member of staff achieve a certain level of self-actualization. And as we go deeper into looking at the value proposition and how the high performers are birthed, you will get more of what I'm talking about here. So I continue to read. There is a need for leaders who are capable of thinking ahead, seeing beyond problems, and taking and acting in a manner that influence desired results for the collective. So again, this is not what I'm saying. This is what the research is showing, and we are documenting this. What we have seen from our research is that these high profile, these iconic corporate leaders behind the top 100 companies, while their focus is on cash flow maximization, and there's nothing wrong with that, we are seeing, happily so, that their focus is also on fostering collective human development within the workforce. And that is absolutely necessary because it is a human resource that is responsible for public relations. It is a human resource that is responsible for marketing and distribution. It is a human resource that is responsible for product and service innovation. And the moment you trivialize the importance of the human resource, there is where you're going to have some serious issues as it relates to representing a strong value proposition, and as it relates to ensuring that you truly are creating the environment where you have the sustained high performance. We will go deeper into the analysis as I come back to look at some key critical areas that I would have raised early on. This in itself will lay the foundation for these corporate leaders to build a strong and unique value proposition that impacts every unit of the firm and give them a unique opportunity to compete and win globally. Drive divorce from the fear of struggling with absenteeism, staff turnover, or to struggle with absenteeism, staff turnover, or having to deal with a demotivated, disruptive workforce. Let's go back at this again. Because of the humane approach that is being used by the top iconic corporate leaders behind the top 100 companies, they are the ones that can think about growing and expanding and diversifying their brands into local, regional, and international trade. Because they don't have to worry about absenteeism. They don't have to worry about staff turnover. They don't have to worry about the demotivated workforce. They don't have to worry about the disruptive workforce because of the fact they have incorporated a very humane approach in how the value proposition is built out, how the corporate culture is built out to impact the workforce. And that is what this statement is saying. So these are information. Again, this is not what I'm saying. This is what the research is showing. Our role is just to bring this information to you, help you to learn it, adopt it, and perhaps incorporate it into your institution. And with the effort to move your organization to another level. As we said, having the sustained high performers, this is not automatic. It's a process. It is, social orientation. It is social conditioning. It can become a culture and it can become a way of life. And we are here to help you in that process. We at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York and Global Capital Inc. We are here to provide the mentorship, the coaching, and the support to ensure that you are positioning your business, your brand, your ideas with some of the key techniques that we're seeing the top 100 companies are using. I continue to read another paragraph. 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, that's the book, The Psychology of Business, is dedicated to every manager and leader who has adopted and are willing to adopt this new leadership style that looks beyond cash flow maximization, but also addresses issues like nurturing, sustained human development, and adopt an environmentally friendly approach to doing business that can eventually position the value proposition or the brand intention value trait to embrace a holistic system that promotes a corporate culture that sees the importance of blanket workplace self-actualization. Now, blanket workplace self-actualization, I must point out, is a new thesis that, again, we have researched. We have developed this thesis largely based on studying some of the top companies in the world, the top 100 companies. What we continue to see is that they have the corporate culture, the corporate way of life that by its design, it literally enables the individual in the workplace to reach the peak point of development in specific areas. All right, so we're talking about selective actualization. All right, and what we're seeing, what this is also doing to boost confidence, to boost self-awareness, to boost the ability to apply themselves for the workforce that they're having. This, by default, is what also set the stage, the social environment, the social conditioning where the high performers are born. Again, I'm saying to you that what I'm saying here may not relate to every company because of mindset, because of ideology, but we're speaking to those corporate leaders who wants to achieve more, who are not just thinking local and being local, but who's thinking local, probably being small for the moment, but they have a global picture as to where they want to go. 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York. We are here to provide you with all the support that you need to build a strong brand and to integrate those brands across border. Global Capital Inc., we are also here to speak to you about capital markets, about the importance of, understanding debt capital, but the key is not just to understand the debt capital portfolio, it's to understand how to access it, it's to understand how to leverage it, and it's to understand how to mitigate it. So we go through all of this with you in relation to debt capital, equity capital, credit capital, and smart capital. So as an entrepreneur, you are in a much stronger position to embrace leadership and to position your business, your idea, and brand to be more successful in your effort to achieve success. Now, I continue to read 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, The Psychology of Business, is written in a manner to give managers and leaders the competitive advantage in business and in life. It is designed to position you to become global thinkers, social actors, and transformational leaders who are capable of distinguishing yourself in global commerce and industry. The last paragraph I'm going to read, because I dedicate this entire book to those rising stars in business and those persons who wants to position themselves to be trendsetters. And I also want to identify another group of people that I'm dedicating this book to. This book is also dedicated to my three outstanding children, Alu, Jade, and Jude Thompson, who are all pursuing studies in investment banking. For me, it's a happy moment because my big son, he did some studies not so long ago in investment banking. He's 60, but he's already studying at international university. And look at one of his certificates, and he would have already attained honors in investment banking. So the young one, he's also doing well. Sus 14, he's doing exceptionally well in digital marketing and graphic design. And of course, along building his knowledge in investment banking. So that is just a aha moment, a personal moment that I want to share with you guys. Now, I want us to bring some clarity to some of the issues I raised earlier on. In starting this program today, and I want to go deep into this now, I did mention that the top 100 companies, brand leaders, have an exceptional approach to fostering human development, corporate compliance, and global expansion of their brand. I've also said that that exceptional approach is built into the fabric, into the DNA of the company and the value proposition. What exactly am I saying by this statement? What exactly are you deducting from this statement? I also went on to mention that most of the top 100 companies, brand leaders, build out systems to impact every area of their business. For example, in the human research, they have a strong healthcare plan. They have a strong daycare setup. They have an excellent recreational and personal wellness program that are there. We're seeing this with some of the top companies. But for us, I want you to permit me to go deeper into this analysis. When we speak of healthcare, what exactly comes to mind? And of course, I'm going to be drawing a little bit on the father humanistic psychologist, better known as Abraham Maslow. He introduced the world many years ago, it's close to 100 years now, to his thesis, better known as the hierarchy of human needs. And one of the things that he talked about is basic needs. But in this case, let me refer to it as healthcare. When we talk of healthcare, we're talking about air. We're talking about food. We're talking about rest. We're talking about exercise. Now, at first glance, when you hear ear, it's probably put a smile on your face because you might attempt to trivialize it. But it's important to be aware of the air content. It affects how people operate. It affects human performance. And I'm not going to go deeper into it today. Let's talk a little bit about food. How this food affects human performance. Does the modern approach to grow food using a lot of genetically modified products, is it having any effect on human performance, human biology? As we go deeper into our analysis, I will present you with these facts just to ensure that as a manager who wants to nurture the high performers, that you take these things into consideration, because I want to show you they do have tremendous impact on human performance. What about water? How much is the fluoride content affecting human performance? Important to know all of these things. How about rest? Where the average person through rest, not the average person, everyone. Rest enables you to activate the serotonin and by extension, translate into the melatonin. And that has everything to do with human performance. To have the high performers is not only to have the excellent training content. We can give you that and we can stop there. But we at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York and Global Capital Inc., along with the 10X Blueprint Academy, We have studied these systems, and in an effort to help the human resource to 10x, and an effort to help businesses to 10x their cash flow potential, we had to take a very holistic, or we have taken a very holistic approach in looking at these issues that ultimately influences human performance, and by extension, how the business model operates. So as you come deeper into our training programs, our master programs, we will give you a deeper understanding of these issues. But what does your value proposition say about this? What does the corporate culture itself say about these issues? The time is long gone when you as a manager say to yourself and to your team that what you do at work is the only thing that I'm concerned about. The time is long gone because of the fact that everything that people do outside of the workforce may either have a positive or a negative impact on the organization itself. And as a manager, you need to be aware of this. And as a manager, you need to be able to create the kind of conditioning, the kind of environment that doesn't impose, but builds awareness and influences mindsets and habits that is complementary to the overall corporate vision. I want to move one step further, recreation and personal wellness. What does this mean to you? How much does this speak to your corporate culture and the value proposition? Every member of your team, they want to feel socially included. We call it social inclusion. They want to experience esteem and growth. They want to be recognized, and they want to be rewarded. How strong is your value proposition in speaking to these issues? Again, the top 100 companies, they have an excellent track record, most of them, in speaking and representing these issues. And I'm saying to you that if you are prepared to compete or want to compete at an international level, and you don't want to lose your top managers, your key players, to those who have the ideology as a top 100, these are important subject matters for you to start looking at. I'm happy to say to you that the thesis that we have developed at the 10X Blueprint, 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York and Global Capital Inc., among other partners, it really will be designed to give you a unique blueprint to build out these corporate cultures, to impact your workforce in all of these areas that we are talking about. What about the cutting edge education program? We're not just talking about taking a textbook and internalizing the textbook and applying the textbook. We believe that education, cutting edge education is a content of information that is relevant to activities that we are doing now and can be easily applied now to give you the desired results that you want in business. How much is your corporate culture speaking to these issues, where you're nurturing the global thinkers, the social actors, the transformational leaders, where you're nurturing the dream makers, the game changers, and the trendsetters? I want to assure you that we have designed a thesis that really nurture this mindset, this new way of thinking, largely based on studying these Silicon Valleys and these top brands that we're seeing across the world. I'm going to move to another subject now. And I want you to ask yourself, what is it that your corporate culture and your value proposition is saying about this? We also look at guaranteed income. Again, we see the top companies across the world. They are very anchored in the their corporate cash flow protection systems, largely because they are using financial management tools that are not known across the world. They are using these systems that are allowing them to cash flow their operation divorced from the traditional business model. It's called passive income. It is called smart investment. How much does your corporate culture speak to that? Again, I'm happy to say to you that we at Global Capital Inc., we have built out a very unique content that speaks to the issue of corporate cash flow protection. So when natural or man-made disaster strikes, you have a cushion to address these issues. How much does your corporate culture speak to issues like corporate paycheck protection? In the developed world, they have the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, but this one is designed by the government, where the government simply allocate X amount of monies to companies, so companies doesn't lay off their staff, and the job cycle continue, the income cycle continue, people's way of life is not adversely affected because of the intervention provided by the state. But is this a program that can also be designed by company leaders in a manner that does not have to affect the business cash flow? I'm happy to say to you again that we at Global Capital Inc., we have studied this system, and we have built out very unique systems that are providing this kind of information, support and mentorship and coaching to our clients to ensure that you can build out these systems in a manner, and it does not have to cost you. In fact, it will add to your net income. It will add. What does your corporate culture, your value proposition says about these things? And I want you to stop for a moment and just think about this. What impact do you think that this is going to have on your workforce? To know that the company is in a position of strength to not worry, not have to worry about corporate cash flow, to not have to worry about corporate paycheck, to not have to worry about these issues. You can even go one step further, and that's to build out the personal paycheck protection initiative. What does your corporate culture say about this? As I said, we're going to do a lot of research and present to you what is out there, but we're also prepared to present to you what is not out there, because we have innovative thinkers in our team, and we believe that businesses today across the world, if you are really positioning yourself to be the proactive leader, it is all about thinking ahead, seeing beyond problems, and taking informed action to achieve desire. Our entire business model is built to ensure that we provide you with the kind of information that position you to be the proactive leader. You can even build out what we call the personal paycheck protection program, where the team members, your workforce, they have this smart platform that they are pouring into, and they're getting, it is dividend yields are being grown, that is being compounded, and is being leveraged in smart and smarter ways. These are important talking points that we believe can have tremendous bearing on your value proposition, your corporate culture. And we're doing all of this largely based on the fact that we know that absenteeism is a major issue for a lot of businesses. Staff turnover is a major issue for businesses. And from the studies and research that we are doing, we now are presenting this information that we believe can have a tremendous impact on how you deal with absenteeism, staff turnover, and the sustainable development of your business, your ideas, and your brand. The big question, what does your VP, your value proposition or corporate culture says about these issues? To compete and win globally, these are important issues to consider. Very, very important issues to consider. So I trust that you would have enjoyed today's program. And we talk about the value proposition and the high performers. And we did say that the high performer, is not automatic. You don't necessarily born, with a superior IQ. And if even in special circumstances you have that, it doesn't mean that you're exceptional in that area of strength. We believe that high performers is best nurtured by the socialization process, by the orientation process. And from our experience, we're certain you can have that. But we're also saying that your corporate culture itself has to be built out in such a way to deliberately want to achieve this. And again, it's not going to be achieved only by having a iconic lecture material. A range of other factors must be taken into consideration when you are serious about nurturing this sustained high performers that can function in your operation, to take your operation to perhaps the top 100 status quo. We're here to give you that mentorship, support, and the coaching to ensure that you reach that point. Now, in conclusion, I just want to introduce you to a very new program that we have developed. We call it, again, the value proposition. And in this program, there are a number of key takeaways. All right, we are introducing you to a number of systems that will help you to 10x the value proposition blueprint. We will give you a blueprint for 10xing your value proposition. And just let me give you 4 of those important takeaways that you will have there. 1, you will learn how to master the workforce impact blueprint. So yes, there is a workforce impact blueprint, and you will be introduced to this. All right. Now, some of the key takeaway under this heading, you will learn a whole lot of how to reduce absenteeism and how to reduce staff turnover. Are you aware of how much money this causes companies across the world to deal with absenteeism and staff turnover? Millions upon millions of dollars is expended into this entire process. So if you can learn a system that can stop the hemorrhaging, all right, this is the program that will help you with that. All right, and being able to stop the hemorrhaging in relation to loss of income and even loss of credibility, because when you lose your top performers who might be responsible for production or getting products and services through the value chain, it can affect your promise to your target market. And that affects credibility, confidence, trust, and credibility. This program speaks to that issue. Along with this, the second heading that you will be able to take away here is you will learn how to master the target market impact blueprint. Now, this is important. You want to make the larger than life impact on your target market, because this is where you're going to be able to cash flow. This is where you're going to be able to cash flow. So under this heading, you will have a number of key takeaways, but the 2 main things that you're going to have here is learning how to enhance the customer impact. You want to ensure that you're building up blueprints to not only grab attention, not only pique interest, not only arouse desire, not only move the customer into action, not only make impact, not only convert first-time users, but you want to convert first-time users into lifetime customer. And this program really helps you to understand that entire blueprint and to be able to apply it towards building a strong business model. And in fact, some of these things that we're going to be introducing you to, again, they are practical tools that we're seeing that are being used by top 100. The next thing you will be able to enhance the win customer for life, win customer for life. All right, on the second program. To win customer for life is not accidental. It has to be intentional. Do you have a blueprint for this? We will introduce you to this blueprint. All right, our 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York. We have built this program. Those programs are working, and we want to introduce you to them. The third takeaway, you will also learn how to master the general public impact blueprint. Yes, there's a blueprint for this also. Now, traditionally in marketing terms, because when I studied marketing at Cambridge, among other universities, the University of Cambridge, we studied from the perspective of impacting the target market. Much emphasis in those studies wasn't placed on workforce. That might have come under another subject matter. And of course, much emphasis wasn't placed on the public. But of course, after years of being in business, years of research, and of course, information can change. Environmental realities can change. Business realities can change. And you also have to change your ideology with those changing realities. Now we're seeing that it is absolutely necessary or a useful tool to adopt a blueprint that can influence the general public. Why is that necessary? They may not be your consumers, but they can be your biggest cheerleaders. Can you connect with influencers? Can you get influencers to buy into your ideas? Can you get influencers to refer you your products, your services, your brand? So when we talk about impacting the public, we're going to also give you a blueprint to make this happen. So some of the key takeaway you will learn here is how to leverage social influencers and how to enhance customer referrals. So these are programs that you can learn ASAP and you can implement it. And of course, we're going to be working with you, providing the mentor, the coach, and the support to make this happen. Last but not least, takeaway here, you will also learn how to master the business cash flow blueprint. Of course, you're into business, the cash flow maximize. And if you want to cash flow maximize like some of the top 100 companies, you can start to lay the foundation for that to happen by learning these systems that we're going to be introducing to you. Now, in learning how to master the business cash flow blueprint, you will learn one, how to 10x the business cash flow and how to master the business cash flow blueprint. These are things you want to master. All right. Cash flow maximization is an ideology. It's a way of life. And we will provide you with a blueprint to make this happen. Now, if you want to learn more about what we're doing, I want to encourage you to go to 10X Branding and Marketing LLC.com. The website is there. You can peruse the website and to learn more about what we are doing. You can even purchase one of our programs online, and we will be so happy to work with you. Again, if you're in business or intend to get into business, this is the platform for you. I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share. Press that notification bell so you will be the first to get this information that we're bringing to you on a regular basis. Again, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the self-published best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkits, Billionaire Code, And I read to you today from the new book titled 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, The Psychology of Business. So I trust that you would have enjoyed today's program. Now, I must also add, if you listen to this program and you stay to the end, what I'm about to say is for you, all right? If you have a business and you want to learn more about these programs that we're talking about, reach out to us now. We will give you a free orientation, zero cost, and you can be the beneficiary of learning how to build out your value proposition blueprint, how to build a 10X value proposition blueprint. We will work with you and to show you how to do this. All right. Be blessed. Remember to like, subscribe, share, press that notification bell. Feel free to reach out to us. Reach us on if you use the website, you can find the email, or if you find me on Facebook, you can certainly inbox me. Be blessed. See you soon.